Hi everyone, and welcome to day 16 of 31 Days of Tarot. And today's question is, what tarot card in the deck do you look out for the most when you get a new deck? And if you don't like that card, does it ruin the deck for you? So for me, there are two different cards from the Major Arcana that I look out for the most. The first one is probably the one that was really the first card that spoke to me, even in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Um, that was my favorite card, even in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and so I wanted to have decks where I love to see this card as well. Um, and it's the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is something special to me right from the beginning. This card was the first card that I loved the most, from look-wise, but also from her meaning and getting to know her a little bit better, which is, um, in case of the High Priestess, yeah, an interesting thing to do to dive deeper into the meaning of the card. Um, because the High Priestess is all about diving deep and trusting your intuition. So it was an interesting journey. And for me, the two things that are most important and that I want to see in a card is either a connection to the moon, so full moons like we have here, or the triple goddess, the triple moon aspect, crescent moon, something like that, or the connection to the water. Um, so I love to see water in High Priestess cards. I love to see her sitting in front of water, or behind water, um, or merging out from water. I love to see blue tones in this card because of that, or maybe even that her dress melts into the water. Um, that's things I love to see in High Priestess cards. Um, I love it when both aspects are highlighted in the card so that we can clearly see the connection to the moon and the connection to the water. But it's quite difficult to find cards that have both connections in there. Um, so it's so it's enough for me if there's at least one connection, the moon or water, in a card. And the other thing I love to see is that there is an that the High Priestess looks very powerful and confident. Um, not near, I would say not powerful in terms of authority or regalness, but powerful in terms of she is in her power. She knows herself, she knows what she can do and what she's able to do. She knows the things that we don't, maybe, and she's confident. And yeah, she dares you to, yeah, get to know yourself. And she trusts in herself. And she even protects the wisdom and the knowledge that is behind the veil, um, if needed. So I want to see a confident and powerful woman in that form. So, and here are some of my favorites. So we have the Priestess from the Vampire Tarot, and we have the connection to the moon out there, and even the triple goddess moon crown here. Um, and even her dress looks a little like it's glowing like the moon, like moonlight. And she looks very powerful, for me at least, because she looks directly at you. She has this old um, book of knowledge here, and she has even some arrows on her back. So she's ready, if it's necessary, she's ready to stand up and defend her knowledge, defend her wisdom with these arrows. So I love that. Here we have the High Priestess from the Dark Days Tarot, and we have the moon here, so we have the connection to that. And her hair, I love her hair because it reminds me of the nature of water. It looks like it's flowing down, yeah, on her, and in her hair you can see all those different people and all those experiences and wisdom that comes with those different perspectives and different experiences that they have in their life. And so it's really the connection to the water I see here in her hair. And she looks powerful as well because she's completely by herself. She trusts herself. She's completely calm, but also very upright and proud in the meditation pose here. I love that. So then we have the High Priestess from the Nomad Tarot. And here we have again the connection to the moon. We have a huge full moon in the background, and she sits before there. We have her long hair, also looks like flowing like water. We have her eyes closed. So she is confident and trusts her intuition and her senses that she can sit here with her eyes closed and completely naked, completely vulnerable, um, because she trusts that nothing's going to happen, or that she knows when it's time to defend herself. And we have the horns here, even, which speaks also to her power, her confidence, her pride, um, and her trusting. So I love that as well. Then we have the High Priestess from the Darkness of Light Tarot, I think. And she looks very confident and very powerful. She sits here and she looks up above. Her chest is wide open and uplifted. She sits here very straight. She has her hands and her arms raised up into the moonlight, welcoming the moon energy. We have the crescent moon at her feet. We have the book of knowledge, and she looks very powerful and confident. And so I love that as well. And then we have two high priestesses which have more the connection to the water. So we have the high priestess from the Prisma Visions Tarot. And I love this high priestess card. Even though you don't see her whole body and the whole person in here, you can just see her legs and her hand. She's holding a pomegranate in her hand, and it looks like almost that she's raised up from the water, and now she's able to walk away with this knowledge that she gained under the surface of the water, and she's able to walk on top of the water. completely naked, completely confident and trusting. We have also the crescent moon here in the background as well. So I love that aspect of the water and how it's integrated in that picture. And lastly, we have the High Priestess from the Cesar Albedo Tarot. And here is the aspect that I love with High Priestesses with water. We can see the water here, and she's sitting in the water. Her feet are in the water, dipped in the water, and her dress is blue as well, and it flows into the water. It's like almost, it's like merging into water. So I love that connection with the water. She's completely connected here with her intuition, with her emotions, with the subconscious. She also looks very powerful. She looks directly at you. She sits here confidently with her crown and the owl for wisdom. It is also, yeah, a very powerful animal. Um, it's a hunter. So I love that connection there, and I love her facial expression. So that was the first card that I look out for the most, the High Priestess. And the second card is a card that I first don't look out for and don't pay as much attention as I do now. But after a very powerful reading that I had, where this card showed up, and it really taught me a very important lesson there and in this reading that I don't ever forget is justice. And since that reading, justice for me is also another card that I look out for the most in a deck. And what's important for me with this card is um, that there is some kind of sword in there either, or another way which depicts that justice cuts through everything, through emotions, through experiences, through fears, through illusions, through dreams, through subjective opinions, and it cuts directly to the objective truth. So I want to see that aspect either symbolized by a sword or in another creative way. But I want to see that aspect of that card somewhere in the image because that is a key meaning for me for this card, and it's very important for me. And I also love to see women in my justice cards, and I love to see a regal, strong, authoritative looking woman. So, with this card, it's not just that I want to see the power of the woman, but I want to see really in form of regalness, in form of authoritative, looking confident, powerful woman in that way, and strong woman even. Because for me, justice is a very high up there aspect. She teaches us something, she's higher than us, and therefore she's able to cut through to the truth um, and make decisions that we are not able to see because of our human way of thinking. So I want to see that as well, or I love to see that in the cards. And so here are some of my favorites, not as many as with the High Priestesses. So here's the Justice from the Vampire Tarot from Ian Daniels. And we have the sword here. I love the red tones here as well because red is a very powerful, authoritative color. Um, and I love her pose. She looks very confident and very strong. She looks directly at you. She is completely open here because of the way she holds her arms. Like the scales, she weighs something with her arms, and she's so powerful and confident that she doesn't even need her arms to act. And she dares you to follow her and to look at the truth with her because of the way she directly looks at you. So I love that card. Then we have Justice from the from the um, New Choice Tarot, I think. And she looks very regal and very authoritative here. She sits on a throne. She has a crown up. She sits on a throne and she has a crown on her head. She has a regal, um, colorful, very yeah, dress on, but even this part here could also be like could also protect herself. Like battle dress that she's wearing. And she has the sword in her hand pointing upwards. She looks directly and straight at you as well. And she really looks confident and powerful and regal. So I love that. The same with the Justice card from the Bad Bitches Tarot. She has the sword here, which I love. Um, and she holds it like she's not afraid to use it. And the way she holds it, it almost looks like her power lies in there, and she takes her power and her energy from that sword. Um, and the way she's standing, she also looks straight at you, and she's standing very confident and very powerful. She looks straight at you, but almost from a little bit above, down at you. And she's standing very confidently and shows herself, isn't afraid to show herself, to stay up for the truth, and to use her sword. So I love the posture of her and her regalness and the way she holds the sword as well. And the last card that I love is a little bit different because we don't see a person completely or a woman holding the things, but I love how this card depicts the meaning of justice because we have the sword here and it directly points at an eye and at an open eye. So it's really like, and we have all those different layers of black into dark grays, into lighter grays, into white. So we have like the sword is cutting through the darkness, into the light, into the truth, um, and clearing the path from all the things that doesn't allow us to see the truth and to see clearly. And it's pointing directly at the eye. So this person has no other choice to see truth directly in the face. There's no way that this person could look around it. And so I love that depiction of justice. So these were my um, two cards that I look out for the most in a tarot deck. And the other question was, if I don't like these cards, does it ruin the deck for me? Um, I would say yes and no. So it's all comes down to the deck and how the other cards in the deck look like. So these two cards are very important for me, And I had decks where I loved some other cards, but because I really couldn't get Justice or the High Priestess the way they depicted it there, and there weren't there wasn't even a little thing that was like, okay, I can see that meaning there, or okay, at least that aspect is depicted there. And because of that, I didn't bought these decks, or I didn't decide to put this deck on my wish list. But I'm willing to compromise with these cards. So um, if at least one aspect of the things that I want, if at least one is in there and I love the rest of the deck, I can compromise and say, okay, I love the rest of the deck. The deck is absolutely stunning, and I can work with those two cards. And at least there's one thing I like to see, then I can compromise as well. So it really depends on the deck and on the depiction. So this was day 16 of 31 Days of Tarot. We already are halfway through. I hope you still enjoy those videos. Um, if so, please give it a thumbs up. I would love to see that. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Um, if you want to see more of my videos, so that you don't miss any of the other videos that I post. Um, Also, feel free to leave a comment below. I would love to read what your favorite cards are, and what you think about my favorite cards, the High Priestess and the Justice card. Um, I would be very happy to see some comments down there, and some positive um, yeah, some thumbs up as well. Also, look at the description box. I've linked my Instagram account there if you want to see general readings or some beautiful crystals and some other gorgeous things from my life. You can look over there. I would love to see you over there as well. And thank you for watching. I'm wishing you a beautiful, sparkly day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!